Hey guys, it's October, which means it's ADHD Awareness Month, and in honor of ADHD Awareness Month, I'm making this video about 10 common misconceptions about ADHD. Let's go. ADHD isn't real. Well, no it is. Yeah, ADHD is real. ADHD only affects boys. Now this is a very harmful misconception. ADHD affects boys and girls at the same rate, even though boys are more likely to be diagnosed with ADHD. That's because they exhibit more hyperactive, more external symptoms, while girls exhibit it differently, more internal, more quiet. ADHD only affects kids. I'm in my mid-20s, and I've had ADHD forever. Kids with ADHD grow up to be adults with ADHD. ADHD means you're hyper. Now this one is an odd misconception. First of all, just because you have ADHD doesn't necessarily mean you're hyperactive. Secondly, hyperactivity doesn't necessarily mean you're going to be running around like kids. It can also be mental. In fact, most adults with ADHD exhibit mental hyperactivity, so things like inability to sit still or racing thoughts, things like that can also be considered hyperactivity. You can outgrow ADHD. Unfortunately, you can't outgrow ADHD. Like I said before, kids with ADHD grow up to be adults with ADHD. You might learn coping mechanisms to kind of work around your symptoms, however, the ADHD will still be there. Meds will fix ADHD. Unfortunately, ADHD isn't a condition that can be fixed. Meds help you deal with your symptoms on a long-term basis. However, it's an uphill battle, and you're never completely cured of it. Things do get better as you learn to deal with your symptoms, but you're never completely cured of it. ADHD is overdiagnosed. Now, just because people are being diagnosed more now than they used to be 10, 20, 30 years ago doesn't necessarily mean it's a bad thing. As we learn more about a condition, we can catch people exhibiting different symptoms or different, at different times or earlier, if anything. Higher rate of diagnosis doesn't necessarily mean it's a bad thing. If anything, I'd argue that they were underdiagnosed back then, and we're really catching up now. ADHD meds lead to future addictions. The medication prescribed to us by our psychiatrists are catered to our size and weight, so if we take the meds that are actually prescribed to us, there shouldn't really be any problem at all. ADHD is caused by bad parenting. Untrue. Studies have shown certain genes that make it more likely for you to get ADHD, so it's most likely genetics and a range of other factors rather than bad parenting. And finally, the most annoying one, everyone has ADHD. I have memory problems too from time to time. I have concentration difficulties too from time to time. These things are surprisingly common to hear. I get them from time to time as well. But here's an analogy. If someone was experiencing blinding headaches that causes them to pass out from time to time, it would be like going up to them and saying, no, it's okay, you don't have to worry. I get headaches too, so it's fine. I hope the analogy makes sense here. Just because everyone exhibits a certain portion of the symptoms doesn't necessarily mean they have all of the symptoms at that same extent, and yeah, I hope that cleared up the misconceptions. Thank you for watching, and happy ADHD Awareness Month.